Hi, I'm Tenja Young.
And I'm Sanaa Abourezk.
Stay tuned as we dive into Sanaa's story and uncover her power of food.
Hi, I'm Sanaa Abourezk, and this is The Power of Food.
So tell me, where are you from?
I was born and grew up in Damascus, Syria.
And your childhood, what was it like? Brothers, sisters, big
I'm the
families?
oldest. And I'm the most mature. That's why I told my sibling. 2 girls, 3 boys. Myself, my sister, and then 3 boys. My mom stayed. I hate the term stay-home mom because she really did everything. And then my dad, which is a story on his own, I'm hoping to write it one day. He was working there as a nurse for blood transfusion, and then he bought lands, he became a farmer. It's a long story, but the most kindest, wonderful parents anybody can wish for.
And how long, when did you come to the States? Did you visit to
Oh my
school?
God, now I feel so old. I think I would say about 40 years ago. So like I said, the image people have of the Arab men and the Muslim families that we are illiterate, racist, ugly, and it can't be further from the truth. So my father and my mother, even my father had no education. He was an orphan, like I said, he's a story by itself. He believed in women education more than boys' education. And he kept saying to my brothers and everybody, he'd say, the boy can sleep in the street, the girl can't. And then my sister, she was, second child, she's always rebellious. I mean, now she's a doctor, she's a fantastic doctor. But anyway, she didn't want to go to school. And he said, you have to go to school. So I died, I'm going to be married. He said, what if your husband died suddenly? How are you going to feed your kid? What if he was abusive? You have your college degree, you kick him in the ass, he's out of the house. This is his insurance, his security. So when I finished my undergraduate degree in agricultural engineering, because I was planning to help him, I worked with him for 3 months, and you don't want to work with your dad. Whatever you say, it's wrong. And then, they don't pay you very well too.
Oh my gosh, but it sounds like he was for complete empowerment of his daughters.
Like I said, he won't allow my brother. Because in our culture, they do prefer boys more than girls because the men carry the name of the family. That's first, and then the men can help them. That's how it started. Even anywhere, the men can help their dad in the farm. So that's why they were more valuable than the girl. But my father, if my brother asked me to get him a glass of water, say, she's not your slave, you go get your own water. That's how we grew up in this house. So the girl is actually our own. You can't mess with me and my sister. Because my dad made us so powerful, but at the same time so respectful. It's not like, but education was key. And I think because he didn't go to school, I think it always bothered him. Anyway, so I had one professor at college, agriculture engineering. He was graduate from Berkeley, California, and he was talking about California, and I was Googling it. Not Googling, there's no Googling, but I got papers. So I told my parents that I want to finish my school in America. And you think, any parents, anywhere in the world, like, you just finished your college degree, you're 22 years old, you can marry now, have family, or work, There's no FaceTime. There is no Instagram. There is no WhatsApp. So if I leave the country, they don't see me until I come back. And but they were for it. So I came as a student to America, and then I went to California, Cal State Pomona. I did my master's degree in Syria. In Syria, they don't have master's degree. They have either undergraduate or a doctor, a PhD. So I didn't have the doctor in front of my name. I couldn't find a job, and so I was very depressed. And my parents, like I said, they're most wonderful parents ever. Even though my mom missed me so much, I'm the first child, and my dad, I'm very close to my dad. I was close to my dad. They said, okay, you want to go back to America, go back to America. And that's why I believe in destiny. So I came back to America, but I didn't go to California because I wanted to help them. They paid for my education in California from farming. So I came to DC because if you work in embassy, then you can work full time legally because you're not taking a job of an American. So you can go to school part time and work full time at an embassy. You are, they call it second diplomat. So I wanted to help my parents, so I started applying for embassy because I spoke Arabic and English. And so I worked at Qatar embassy. One of my friends, she was working for the Arab League. She was the cousin of my husband. And we said, Destiny, I met him and he was I have sat his own. He was in politics. He was doing, he started the civil rights organization. It's called the Arab American Anti-Discrimination Committee because it was right at the end of Afghan. Remember when they dressed like an Arab to bribe congressmen? So that's drove me crazy. That's the image they have. Unfortunately, they still have it. So he started the civil rights movement, and he went to somebody's house, sit his home. And here I am. Exactly.
And it sounds as if we go back a little bit, food has always been swirling over your head. Like even from your dad.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's almost as if you fell into it. It was just going to be there.
I mean, I really actually didn't want to be an agriculture engineer. I wanted to be a chef. And but for us, like, everybody can go. That's what my mom did. How are you going to pay for your rent? This is not a job, this is something you do naturally. You're a woman, you cook. So, but since I was a child, so we lived in Damascus. I went to school in Damascus, everything. And Damascus is the oldest city that's been inhabited throughout the world. So so the history, the aroma of the spice market is still here. Thank God the world didn't damage it. I mean, you walk into the spice market and it's tiny shops with each one has its own spices and everything, and everybody welcome you, come on, try, So it's the whole ambiance, the whole karma, the whole, it's just fantastic. Then you have the nut market, then you have the za'atar store. Exactly. And, but in summertime, my father, at that time, he was a farmer yet. He was just trying to save money to buy a farm. So he built a house in the village where they were from. My grandparents were so about 4 kilometers, mile and a half away, but uphill. And I would go every night, walk, even though they had, I thought that everybody has story. I am so particular about, since I was a child, about clean bathrooms. My grandparents, they had the outhouse that I absolutely hated. But I would go there, spend the night for 2 reasons. At night, my grandmother would tell us stories, all from the 1001 Nights, about Aladdin, all this stuff. And I still love storytelling. I love it. And then I stay almost all night. I don't sleep because I don't want to go to the house. I want to be early 5 o'clock in the morning. My grandmother would get up, move to the cow, and she started making the cheese and the yogurt. And then they had this whole thing. They built from a special clay, it's like a tube, big tube. And they put the wood on it, but then they cover it. It's almost like a dome. And whoever wake up that's for the neighborhood. So it'd be like 5 houses. So let's say it's my grandmother's turn. They did the work 3 o'clock in the morning. By 5 o'clock in the morning, my grandmother would make the dough by hand. There's no machine. And big dough, not for the wheat, make the bread. So I would go and watch her. And then she would take the dough, put it on the wall with a ready, and then take it out and would zap it for me. I eat it and I go back home so I can put it back.
Now that's That is, tell me about the spice. It's
So za'atar now is like, you go all these hip restaurants now, it's like za'atar. I mean, we had, like I said, we had it 100 years ago. So basically, that's the genius of the old food. They didn't order from Amazon. They didn't have something shipped from anything. They had to do what they have. So in the springtime, you find all these ladies with the basket. They go early in the morning, and we have a wild hunt to grows in the mountain. The minute you walk into it's wild. It grows up the mountain. They pick it all up, and that's the time they use for the za'atar. And I have no idea how whoever genius lady, the original lady who thought mixing this herb with sumac. The American sumac is poisonous, but the one that also grows white. It's berries, it's very dark burgundy color. It's nice sour.
Yes.
And when you use it, you don't need use lemon because it's already so sour in your salad. But they mix them too. So that's basically the original za'atar. Is the wild thyme. They dry it. And actually, I always bring some with me because it tastes much better than the planted thyme. And so they mix that with the sumac and sesame seed, toast with sesame seed. So that's the original recipe. But now you go to the market in Damascus, in any herb market, and they tell you they have a whole, like when you go to buy curry from the Indian to make curry, same thing. So you put the basic, and then I like it more sour. I say, can I have more sumac? Some people they ask, can I have pistachio? Can I have salt? Can I have some of the coconuts?
So these are the time.
Yeah, exactly. So now when you say green za'atar, most of the time it's from Jordan. They like more thyme. We like it more sumac. So now I can tell, oh, this is Jordanian, this is Palestinian, this is Syrian, this is Lebanese. And like my mom, my aunt, they made their own za'atar. They never bought store. They buy from the farmers. Whoever, yeah.
So I can imagine probably every family has there's probably a different recipe.
Yeah, and of course my mom is the best.
Right.
Yeah, I don't dare say anything wise, but it's really because so now they start adding toasted ground garbanzo beans, and I think it was a smart idea because it added protein. Because that's how we basically what we ate for breakfast. With school, my mom would take the bread with olive oil, za'atar, and some Lebanese yogurt, roll it, and we put paper around it. We walk to school eating that breakfast, not this what's this toasted pot pie, whatever.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, it's like I'm telling you, when I see kids eating it, I want to say, your mom is poisoning you. So with the addition of the garbanzo beans, you have more protein now.
Right. Yeah.
And these are all inexpensive, something from the. So yeah, I love cooking. And then when growing up, whenever my parents would travel, I would cook. One time, I want to make pasta. So my mom so they saved for the winter all the tomato paste, the olive oil, the olives. So I want to make pasta sauce. And it didn't come right away, so I can add it potato paste. It was the worst pasta sauce you can have in your life. And I locked the kitchen. My son had the oldest, so you have to eat it, otherwise no other food. Anyway, they made sure that my mom never to cook. So all these stories are on the food table. When you went to press to eat, when somebody passed away in my culture, and all the neighbors used to bring food. As when you celebrate birthdays, it's around food.
Holidays. It's such a. Sometimes it can be divisive, but I find in most cases it is something that it's a time where I feel people are open to receiving, and I find that people tend to just be a little bit more. Maybe because of the mood that they're in, just open and kind and willing to talk a little bit. And
I think when you share a meal, they feel people like you opening up to them.
Right.
They feel then they relax. What you said, food is power. Food it's.
And even with difficult conversations.
Absolutely. Power. Look now when it's sad to say that, but food is used now as a weapon.
It is.
You know,
With war and all these things.
it's doesn't matter what your education. Doesn't matter where you're from. When you're hungry,
Yeah.
you become back into the simplest human being that all your aim is
Eat.
to eat,
And
survive.
It's survive.
The
It's a
degree is
future
not going to
family.
help you. Your money is
Right.
not to help you.
Right. It's a
You
future
know,
family.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So when you thought about how long did the restaurant idea swirl in your head before you actually pulled it?
It's like the
Like,
craziest.
what made you do it?
Exactly. That's the craziest. That shows you how naive I was
Uh-huh.
and how wonderful my husband was.
Mm.
Because I really never had any business. So I went to school,
Mm-hmm.
agriculture engineering. I worked for my dad, like I told you, in a farm. God, I hated it. Then I went to California, but I always cooked for my friends.
Right.
So when I was a student over there, when I was in DC in the embassy, all the Syrian Lebanese kids, we get together and I would cook. So I always had pleasure in cooking. And I think that's what Jim could say. He said, I should tell you about Jim later, about his food day. The day he actually got interested in me, we helped him, his cousin and I moved him and everything. And he was at that time on a Mexican diet. No salt, nothing, just boiled bean, awful.
Mm-hmm.
So he invited us for dinner, and we were debating like we don't want to go. What kind of excuse we give him? So his cousin, who's my best friend, she and her husband made a plot. She said, "You go with us." I said, "I don't know. If you don't like food, how I'm going to eat food?" She said, "So an excuse that something happened. We all have to live with this together." So actually, something happened. Her husband used to work for also the Arab League.
Mm-hmm.
The ambassador gets emergency. At that time, fax. The English translate, so he had to leave. Nadia had wine, that's his cousin fell asleep. I was stuck with Jim, Jim was stuck with me, so we had a nice conversation. So basically, I ended up marrying Jim because of the lousy food, yes, we were stuck. Anyway, so when Jim, we entertained a lot. Jim loved movies, loved entertaining. So I was cooking continuously at home, and Jim was a food snob. Everything has to be fresh, and he loved Italian food. So one of our guests, and we did fundraising because we were still involved in politics. So for somebody running for office, we did fundraising. So one of our guests, she owned this building, and she just bought it. She renovated upstairs, and Jim rented for his law office. But here it was broken glass. It was a railroad center, storage for the railroad. That's why you see the railroad. That's why it's called the railroad center. So downstairs is fantastic. All these old doors, and it's very strong because it was a storage for them. So it's all reinforced cement. Anyway, so it's broken glass, nothing here. It's all open to each, But she went, and this was a bad area undeveloped. So the owner, she really wanted to have an attraction to let people come to this area. So she ate my home, and then she said, "Would you consider opening a restaurant?" Oh, I'd love to open a restaurant. Because I was looking, it was fast food or steakhouse. We didn't have something in between, fresh food. Jim wanted, that's why I was cooking all the time, because Jim wanted fresh food. And he was vegetarian. And we raised our daughter vegetarian. That's the decision we made. So there was no place for us to eat.
And then when you go out, I'm sure back then it was probably just a salad.
Well, and not only that, the salad, you could say, please no bacon chips. Because, you put so much, and the soup, the beef broth. And I have a really good meal there. I said, "Are you sure there is no meat?" "Oh, there's only beef broth." I say, "Okay, well, that's
right."
So anyway, I was visiting my family in Syria, believe it or not. I phoned rang, and Jim said, "Hi, Sanaa, this is Mark, will talk to you." That's the owner. And she said, "Sanaa, if I give you continue on the rent, I really wanted to open the restaurant, and we don't have a restaurant. Would you open?" I said, "Yes." And that's the craziest thing.
And what was this?
20 years ago. Actually, by Thanksgiving, 21 years ago. There are people who have never had cilantro, eggplant, pita bread. They never had all the stuff. Muhammara, harissa, falafel, bulgur. Oh my, they still ask me about bulgur. So we came, and I think Jim did, encouraged me because he was so sick and tired of me saying, please let's go move back to DC. I was so lonesome because I didn't crowd and and it was cold and everything. So he said maybe yeah. And I love people, I love noise, I love crowd, I love all this stuff. People really are fantastic. But I was foreigner, they still need to warm up to me and I still need to warm up to them. And I didn't realize Norwegian German, they're more calm. So for us with the training, as you see, like we use every part of our body. When I saw how calm they are, I think maybe they didn't like me. So Jim got me a book actually. He said, it's not you, it's culture. It's culture.
Right.
So anyway, I opened the restaurant and my friend they thought I'm totally out of my mind. They said 6 months and I couldn't get to the back more because I have no history. I never worked in a restaurant. So Jim had to co-sign my loan and I hated it because I didn't want to be independent. But I paid the loan in 3 years. So it was 5 years loan, I paid 3 years. And people will come in like, you have hamburger, you have French fries. I don't have fryer. I bet you I'm the only restaurant in the world
I have a fryer.
I have no fryer. We don't fry, period. I don't have no fryer. No. Yeah. So they would come and say, no, do you have chips? No. Do you have ketchup? No. Do you have butter? No. And I would walk with them and say, okay, there's a hamburger place, there's a hamburger place.
No, burgers.
We have soup, we have olive oil, and little by little, you saw. And even the first year, we didn't lose money. Yeah. We hustled, and people like when see somebody hustling. Yeah.
And it's honestly, it's just a matter of opening yourself up to trying something different from what you're used to. And just be willing to try that. And when you get the flavors of this food, the freshness, the herbs, the spices, it really just changes the profile of food that you're typically used to, I think.
I think so too. People like to start with I think coriander was like the spiciest thing. And we start adding harissa, organic molasses. And people, and what I would do, I'll make samples and try it. Oh, yeah. Well, if I know vegetarian food tastes, I'll eat it like this every day.
Right.
And even our meatballs, we cook it in a way that there is not much fat in it. And also to stick to your gut. Like, I was tempted, really, for a while, I was like, oh my God, maybe I should have French fries.
Because you were probably concerned with whether or not people were going to be receptive.
Exactly.
And were you going to be able to break
survive?
Are you going to make
survive? And many times I would go in the back, because Jimmy's office was upstairs, and I'd go in the back and look at me cry, sob. And I called Jim. It's nothing more depressing than an empty restaurant. Especially when you're cooking everything fresh, so that's you're wasting your time and your energy.
You can't do anything else. Well, some things you might be able to say, maybe 2 days.
Yeah, exactly. You can't. Fresh food you cannot.
Right.
And bread we make it fresh
every day.
So, but I have payroll, I have rent, I have insurance, I have this, and I said, what did I do to myself? My God, what did I do? But at the same time, I refused to do French fries because I said the whole idea of opening my restaurant is to introduce people to fresh food, healthy food. And look at my little that.
And you stuck with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I said, even the first year, we didn't lose money. We broke even, but we didn't lose money. I didn't pay myself for 3 years. Right. And I'm grateful for that for him too. But if I didn't have that situation,
you had that foundation.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have to worry about rent or so that's one of the reason I survived, no question about it. And Jim would say, you do okay, you're fine. And so Jim's trust in me and maybe just stop me from complaining. And then when the business started taking off, I love this. So all of a sudden now I'm like, no way I'm doing South Dakota.
And the joy comes across too. Because like I said, even when you would chat for a second here and there, when I would see your different posts, the joy of what you were doing and what you've created here. You've created a community. And a couple of the things that I picked up from you were these pillars that I felt that you had. Food being one, your culture, you held on to that fiercely, to what that meant for you, how that translated into food on a plate, but especially community. That was something that it seemed as if you had to create that, and you masterfully created that here.
We see it in our culture, in Eastern culture. I can say it's here in Lebanese culture. For us, the minute you enter the house, they will feed you. You're a guest. Even when you say, no, I'm being food. Sometimes if you're not used to it, like it just bothers you a lot. My mom said, no, you have to eat. And she'd say, tell her I'm full. And then she would go make, lamb, and you say, tell her, I'm vegetarian. And mom said, he's vegetarian. Say, I'm not going to feed him lentil. He's coming from America, I'm going to feed him lentil. So food for us is part of the hospitality. You're feeding, you're coming home. You're involved too. If somebody passed, the whole neighborhood will cook. The family don't cook anything. Somebody will make the coffee, somebody will make the food. So for us, it's like you are part of us. So for me, I felt like I said, at the beginning, I was taken personally. Nobody's inviting me back. Nobody's, hugging me the way I'm hugging them. Until they understood that
that was your language.
That's my
your
home.
Culture, right?
Exactly. You're coming to my home.
Right.
And then they responded. And then, I bet you, I can't swear to it, but with the few restaurants that we were not eligible, we were during COVID for any stimulus because we made good money during COVID of the way people stood up by us. I said we're not going to close.
Right.
Curbside, fine, curbside, and 6 feet was separated so they can get the food.
Right. And
we made, especially when you take and bake meals. And some people came, they never ate my place. She said, it's 200. I said, what do you like? She said, I don't care, let's fix it. They want us to survive. And we lost money, we lost only 20%. Some places are closed.
And never recovered.
For us, I kept all my staff. That's why, for them, that's home. My staff too. Same salary, never cut their hours, but actually they made more money during COVID because everybody wanted to help them, so they give them extra tips. That's part of when you give from your heart, genuinely give, genuinely care, people respond.
Community, food, your home, Syria, Damascus. Another joy from all of those, and I don't think Jim and his food too, brother as well. Another joy that I've discovered is your joy of dancing. Why does dancing bring you so much joy? It's almost, and not to mention the sign that you have over here.
Yeah.
This kitchen is full of dancing. Yes.
Yep. I think when you dance, physically your body releases the happy hormone, the music. So, music, and Jim used that line, and I love that line. So music is the sound for people who have no sound. I love that. I absolutely love that. So I have music for my own and depressed. I play it and I cry when I feel like I need to cry. And then, like half an hour later, I say, okay, enough. And I blast the music loud, blast the classical, and by the time I'm just dancing, releasing all the stress, all the things. And I feel in contact with all the good karma all over the world. And that's good exercise. And it just means I think also maybe it's related to my culture because for us, when we get together, the women, we have the food and often everybody get the drum, we have tablet, it's called tablet, and then you see all these ladies dancing and everything, and we have some women gathering, so you can be yourself. You can be good dancer, bad dancer, do everything. And I kept doing it. And we did fundraising with belly dancing. And it was really good. We did for food bank. And COVID happened. And all the ladies, they said, oh, we love it. And I said, no, we can't do that. So I started doing belly dancing online during COVID. I think it was Saturday. My mom freaked out because for us, we are conservative culture. And I'm like a master's degree and chef. Why would I go online and do dancing? But for me, it was a way to get people happy because everybody was depressed. I want them to move. So I thought even if I opened up myself and I'm like, I get, almost not part of my culture to do that play dance online. But then the feedback, when we finished, everybody said, Sanaa, thank you so much. I felt so happy. I moved, I did this.
Yes, some people
They were isolated.
Isolation.
And actually now, exactly, that's why I'm going to do my cooking lessons. And this Sunday I want to get them to dance because I get no letter from, message from them that usually I get depressed this time, but now I look forward to when we move it. So, people need connection. So the dance was for me. So another thing what I did, because I really want people to have fun. And that's why I do funny dance. I can dance really good. But that's why you see me, I do the crazy dance because during COVID, that's what I did. So every weekend, I should find this on video. It's on Instagram. I like music, and then I put makeup, and I put the vegetables on.
Yes, the vegetables.
For the music, and then and then I play the music, and I go up, and I do the dance. And people send me a message that, thank you so much, you made me laugh so hard, everything. So my mom said, why are you doing this? And I said, Mom, it's making people happy. And she was okay with it. So that's for me, I'm happy, but also knowing when I get these messages from people, you made me laugh, you bring joy to my life.
I think you passed away last year. And you spoke so beautifully about his love of music. He loved music.
Oh, yeah. He used to play guitar and he had a nice voice.
His love of music, his passion for social issues and justice. And he's taught you and encouraged you so much. Something similar to that, like how your father just empowered your sisters. What would you say you pulled away from Jim the most? And what do you think he pulled away from you?
Well, for Jim, he taught me not to be afraid. He said, if you believe in something, just don't compromise. He absolutely loved people who compromise their principle for the will. He really cut you out. So, he could have been multi-millionaire if he was lobbyist or something. No. He quit. He's one of the few senators who didn't lose an election. He was very popular in South Dakota because he was the man of the people, even Republican, he was Democrat. You have an outlaw leftist, progressive senator, we're talking about 80s, who was senator from South Dakota, but because he was true to his principle. And that's even up to now, people tell me, well, this thing immediately hustling, but you know what is radical. And that's what Jim told me. Don't ever
Stuff like that. When you're not wishy-washy, people they respect you, whether or not they agree.
Exactly. And my dad was the same. Yeah, and Jim, I think what he liked of me, hopefully to relax and keep it. Jim was like always principle, social issue things, and I'm with that. Also, I want to enjoy life, so I go like he was looking the quarterbacks at the end.
Sounds like it was. You need to have support in your buildings.
Oh yeah.
To build a restaurant, people don't do things without. I don't care who you are. Some say I think it's all about making. There's someone, whether it's someone close to you, whether it's a mentor, whether it's just someone that met other people, and to have that foundation.
Yeah. No, like I said, I would cry and call him. And even when he's like, this is phone call, he would say, okay, so that's okay, you're doing fine, everything. And maybe deep inside, I'm not sure that, he never said, maybe you should quit. No. And like I said, other thing he taught me, which is fantastic, he said, if you're right, you can fight with anyone. So, as an immigrant, we are always afraid of authority because we came from the dictatorship. But Jim told me not to be afraid. He said, if you're right, you look at them in the face, and stand with your ground. And that's people who need you. and so on. Even after 9/11, people were scared. I wasn't scared because Jimmy told me not to be scared. You are who you are, you do what you wrong, and you stand by it.
Sanaa, thank you so much.
You're welcome.